State governors in all 50 states are elected by the popular vote. Why not do the same for the governor of all states, aka the president?
Every 4 years, we go to the polls to vote for the nation's chief executive, the president. During campaign season, we hear a lot of talk about something called the Electoral College. But what exactly is this college, and how does it work? Well, it's not a college at all, but a process. It's how Americans elect a president and vice president every 4 years. Who came up with this process? None other than our founding fathers, the framers of the Constitution. Under this system, Americans do not actually vote directly for a president and vice president. Instead, they select a group of people who have pledged to vote for their chosen candidate. These people are known as electors. So why not just vote for the candidate directly? The founding fathers thought that it would be too chaotic and prone to error, and instead designed the Electoral College system. Here's how it works. Each U.S. state gets a different number of electors, equal to the number of that state's U.S. senators, always 2, plus its number of U.S. representatives, determined by the size of the state's population. Who are these electors? In most cases, political parties choose them based on party service and loyalty. The vast majority of U.S. states have a winner-take-all system. Whoever wins the most popular votes in that state gets all of the state's electoral votes.
Given its over 200-year legacy, the Electoral College has been changed because of the rose-colored lenses of history. Though optimistic views of its origins have conserved its support, the origins are not as pure as supporters claim them to be. In fact, while many founders originally considered a presidential election system based solely on the popular vote, they were largely swayed to the Electoral College by the desire to balance between free states and slave states. Despite popular belief, the Founding Fathers were not magnanimously imagining a balance between small states and large states. Because slaves were not allowed to vote, this became a problem in the representation of the South. Their aim was to put off the slavery problem because they knew the North would win the popular vote every time. In order to judge whether the Electoral College should remain, we must examine what it is, what it has achieved, and whether or not it has lived up to its promises. Number 1, uneducated voters. While one of the original purposes of the college, to prevent uneducated voters from electing a poor leader, was wise in theories, it hasn't quite worked out like that. Indeed, our two-party system, which the founders failed to foresee, makes an electoral college override almost impossible. Instead of filtering and refining the people's will, the electoral college has become a reflection of the popular vote. Number 2, small states want to say. The Electoral College's proponents argue it keeps small states in the conversation and ensures a president with a cross-regional support. These are certainly desirable goals, but do they withstand close examination? While there is some merit to the claim that the Electoral College requires presidential candidates to have cross-regional support, the reality is less black and white. It is true that under the Electoral College, a presidential candidate cannot win the support of just the Northeast or the South. Some also argue that the Electoral College allows small states like New Hampshire to gain critical importance in the electoral process, but this ignores the fact that under the current system, the other 12 smallest states are entirely ignored. In 2012, only 12 states received any significant events. There was no good reason why winning by a slim margin with a few states' boundaries should override the will of the majority of the people of the country. Especially when the margins of victory in many states are so slim they hardly represent or mandate a clear preference at all. Number 3, big cities. Many fear a popular vote system would leave the presidency up to the decision of big cities. This is a legitimate concern, but it is blatantly undemocratic. According to the National Popular Vote Campaign, the 100 largest cities in America make up only about 1/6 of the population, the same as the percent of the population in rural areas. Both vote about 60% blue or red respectively, so they roughly balance out. In conclusion, while some say that calling for the abolition of the Electoral College is just the reaction of sore losers, the desire to rethink the Electoral College results from an inclination to look forward. It has accomplished little of what it was designed to do, and it may be high time we leave it to the past.